way.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've come a long way. I'll tell you what I've got to say. That rhymed, and that's good enough for me. This is Gorp. We're at the end of round one of our fast food frenzy. The barbaric slaughter of who's the best. Darwinism rules here at Gorp.
And
My name is
people are
Josh. Welcome,
mad.
everyone. Maya is here.
Yes, so I am actually the founder of Hablemos Productions. We have Let's Hablar podcast and Let's Hablar Solita podcast. It's basically where we talk about everything because talking is how you get to have conversations, and sometimes you can hear other people's opinion and just think that they're dumb or agree with them, so we never know which one you're going to get. We're going to have an episode recently about Love is Blind compared to Made on Let's Hablar podcast, which is about people who endure abuse. How can you detect signs and stuff like that, and where you can get help. That will be linked in the description of that video. Let's Hablar Solita. We're going to talk about Griselda on Netflix, the outrage of another nautical series, but the things that we liked about this one, how they did villainize her and not make her look like a hero. So stay tuned for that.
Beautiful. Right on. And as always, we're at Gorp Show on X Don't Give It To You. But today we have some things to talk about. And it's the final round of our fast food brawl. And today we're talking about the miscellaneous. Those things that don't fit into burger, don't fit into sandwich. We have omitted pizza because pizza needs its own probably 2, maybe 3-part episode by itself. Pizza's out. So we're talking about the things that don't have enough competitors to have their own genre. They're all together today. Fry's here to talk about it. What you got, Bubba?
Yeah, just stay tuned for Pizza, a love story.
A love
That'll
story.
be the episode that we shoot when it comes to pizza, and I think most can relate to that. It leads to what we refer to as beer guts, but mine is a pepperoni flavored beer, I guess. Now, thank you, Lizette, for joining us again. I said it would be hard, and I already screwed it up, and I'm going to screw it up throughout the day. So we're just going to go with Lizette for us. It was very hard to be funny because they're talking about some pretty hard-hitting topics over on her shows this week, like cocaine and murdering in malls, and then, of course, like the other sad stuff. So I was like, how do I inject funny into this? So I've just got to say that she did say, talking, it's how we have conversations. And I think that
talk
should be
for Big Heart.
that should be a tagline for any show. Talking, it's how we have conversations. But we gotta be careful. I saw you break it. I wasn't gonna bring attention to it, but you made it so obvious.
The snap was actually the big giveaway.
Yeah, probably the snap was the issue.
But we can't be so myopic. So unfortunately, we don't have a sign language translator here.
It
but
was
also,
sticky.
I wish you hadn't said that when I said we can't have hand signals on here, and you said "ew sticky" directly after I said that. So let's just get right into the last week's bracket, or the last show's bracket. We of course had the sandwiches, and sandwiches was not as polarizing as the Mexican food versus chicken sandwich bracket.
Sure.
But we did have our first ever 16 seed upset a 1 seed. Now, it wasn't necessarily linked to the food. It was more linked to controversy. So remember that we have 3 criteria that we really follow, and that is the menu, of course, historical significance, and cultural impact. All right? Subway was decimated by Togo's. And after that happened, I got to be honest, I looked into that Togo's menu. Some of their sandwiches now that they have now, because I haven't been to Togo since I was a child, but some of those sandwiches they have now look kind of fire. Like that pastrami Josh was talking about.
Look mad juicy, dog.
To look up their menu before I go, so that way I don't mess up while I'm there, but I probably will. Yeah. I've gone to Togo's before, and I've always had to have the menu right in front of me because I'm afraid I'm gonna say it wrong.
Oh, that's me at most ethnic restaurants.
All right. So we've got Jason's Deli. I'm going to cruise through this a little bit quicker here. Jason's Deli knocked off McAllister's Deli in the Deli Dazzling Showdown. And then we had Jimmy John's get knocked off by Charlie's Philly Cheesesteaks. Then, of course, Jersey Mike's took out Schlotzsky's. And then Firehouse Subs beat Blimpies. Arby's beat Potbelly Subs. Quiznos took out Witch, and that's one I kind of have an issue with, but it's fine. We'll let it go. And then, of course, Panera Bread beat out Pret-A-Manager. So what are you guys' thoughts on there?
The hospital beat the, what did I say was Pret-A-Manager? The airport.
Airport.
The hospital beats the airport. I don't know. Overall, I agree with everything. Which should remain in the bracket. It reminds me of Qdoba getting knocked out so quick. It's a RIP, pour one out. Like, they deserve to be in the semifinals at the very least, but tough break, kid. What about you, my
Which is a good sandwich spot, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never had a Panera sandwich. I've had their mac and cheese. I like their mac and cheese. That's something that I actually really did agree with. They have bomb mac and cheese. It's really, really good. But they also have really good soups, which is something that I will like when I'm sick. So I'm going to go with Panera on that one. I was pretty happy with Panera. All of your picks, like a lot of them, I think I've had before, but it's just a sandwich to me. It's not that big a deal. It's just a sandwich. I don't feel like making at home. Except Subway. Subway is the one that, like, I know what it is, and I don't like it. I go, I think it's going to be different, and I get sick every time. Always. No matter what.
That's a good... I want to make a t-shirt for that. I know what it is, and I don't like it. Great.
That reminds me of I Think You Should Leave. I know what it is. I'm not stupid. I'm smarter than you. Right, so today we've got the miscellaneous bracket, and there was a bit of like some we'll call it creative conversation prior to today's show in the production meeting, because it's really hard to place these. They don't have necessarily, like Josh, at a top or pardon me, a bracket or a style. They're all like different. And it's great. It's a cultural.
But they are. I'm sorry, bro. They are places that we all go, places that we all have eaten, if not many times, or maybe just once or twice because you felt like, I guess I'll eat here. This is all we got. So it's one of those kind of places, and it's also like we talked about how the Mediterranean's gone. We talked about how no, we didn't. Anyway, it's also like franchises that don't stack up to anyone else in their genre, like.
But Josh, why don't you go into that a little bit before you talk too much about what we have? Go into the Mediterranean for us. What happened there? Why couldn't we fit a Mediterranean spot on here?
I was hurting for it, dude. Like, because a gyro, a hero, a gyro, whatever you want to call it, like, they are a major food group, dude. They're so healthy if you eat half of it. And
you just put them in the pyramid. He threw a gyro in the pyramid. They are a major food group.
Yeah, you get the chocolate, you got breakfast, you got meat, you got chicken. Maya has a story about how chicken's not meat, and then sweets, etc. Then you got gyros. Anyway, so it's like Mediterranean food in general is just wonderful. It's like actually like the new trendy thing for the diet. It's like eat Mediterranean in moderation. But I don't. When I go to a Mediterranean spot, I get a giant gyro, I get extra sauce, make it spicy, etc. I've talked about this before on the street meat episode or whatever. But Mediterranean food is a mom and pop. It's everywhere, but it's a mom and pop. Like, if you're in a city, you probably can find where they have gyros. Probably in the mall. Just saying.
Yeah.
It's worth what you're paying for it. It's fresh, it's good. Love it. But we don't have a franchise to talk about. There is Garbanzo. They're a spot. Pita Pit is there as well, but that's mostly college locations or huge cities or Colorado Springs. So it's there, but it's not there.
Colorado Springs.
And then you have like Thai food. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of Thai food. Have you noticed that like the drunken noodles you get in Utah is the same drunken noodles you get in New York City at the Thai restaurant.
You're running hot. You're running high. Let's, Maye, really quick. We're gonna get to Thai. Thai deserves its own topic. You're like, we didn't put them on the bracket, and I will fit them all in this episode right now.
Time crunch to fit it in.
Yeah, Maye, we did go. Josh and I did go back and forth on the Mediterranean. Like, I threw out Halal Guys, which is a chain, and they have quite a few locations in California. He threw out Garbanzos and Pita Pit, and we just couldn't find one that really meshed into the criteria. But I think our audience is going to be mad when we get to some of the stores that are in here, because some of those Mediterranean spots did have more. But what do you think about Greek getting left off?
I really like Halal Guys. I enjoyed their stuff. That's something that typically we would go and get every now and then, especially when we were in the Bay Area, because when we moved to the Valley, there wasn't a whole lot of them. But I don't know. I think like a lot of the Greek spots that we go to are mom and pop. They're not necessarily huge in franchise. So
Right.
when we go, it's a really small hole in the wall, and you have to be really careful when you're driving past it, or you'll miss it. I like it. I like their food, but I mean, it's just a rare find now to find them in a nice location, or to at least see where it's visible. I
Right.
don't think they're advertised quite enough either.
They're food trucks now.
Now, Josh, go off on Thai. Sorry, I wanted to give us a little buffer.
Oh yeah.
Let us have a little conversation.
Okay. So this does bleed into how, like, you know, you got your restaurants that are mostly mom and pop, or just not big old fat franchises, but they might be affiliated. So, like, speaking of Panda Express, right? We have like how there's just Panda Express. You can talk about PF Chang's, but that's a restaurant. There's nice restaurants, but there's only one fast food, and it's Panda Express. Otherwise, they are just mom and pop locations. Whether it's a buffet or a to-go or whatever it is. There's just some foods that work better in a different way. For instance, Thai food. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, but Thailand actually trains people to cook a very specific menu, and they send them out in the world, whether it's the same name of the restaurant or not. It's all the same food all across the entire world, because Thailand practices a concept they invented called gastroeconomics, where they train you, they send you out, you're stationed in certain restaurants, and all these restaurants of Thai food, that's why the drunken noodles taste the same everywhere you go, because they're all trained at the same school and sent out. It's actually a way to promote tourism, and that's the only reason you would go to Thailand, is for the great food. Fry. That's the only method of promotion they use.
No.
It's the food. Anyway, my little tirade's over.
You've got me rattled from our little break. It's still rattling around in my head. It's just making me laugh inside my own head from earlier today.
But let's go.
Let's take my mind off of our prior conversations, and let's move right into this bracket. So our 1 seed today, we've got probably, I think it would be a 1 seed on most lists, Starbucks. Starbucks is our 1 seed, and they're going up against Fazoli's. So Lizette, Maye, ladies first.
Well, I don't think I want a fast food Italian spot. I probably would just rather go to Starbucks and get myself a coffee. That's just me personally. Mind you, I don't feel like I have to have. I'm not a Starbucks fanatic, because Fry and I have already discussed that I've broken the tradition of pay it forward several times on accident. So for me, I'd rather just go get a carrot cake, and then sometimes when they have it, sometimes they just have coffee cake or a matcha tea, and I'm done. Like, I really don't need anything else. But Italian food, I can make spaghetti at home. I can make myself lasagna at home. They have those things.
But you can't make coffee?
I can make coffee, but when my coffee is out, like I order Puerto Rican coffee, I have to get something else. And matcha tea, the darker the matcha, the better it is for you health-wise. And I feel like the one that I always get is super light, but when I go to Starbucks, I get one that's pretty dark. So I'm like, it's better. I go mostly for the matcha tea. I don't really go for the coffee.
Gotcha.
So who's your winner?
I would say Starbucks. Because I would
Starbucks.
rather go to a Starbucks than an Italian fast food spot.
You can't eat noodles while you drive. Well, to
Right?
debate that, to debate
The
that,
meatball
Josh.
falls off into your car, loses forever. Like, you're never gonna find it.
I
never
got a
find it.
meatball right in where I lean my seat, but I can't reach it. Yeah, Fazoli's loses. Okay, you know what I mean? Like, Fazoli's is where folks, if you're not aware, in the Midwest, there's a place called Fazoli's where if you're, I don't know, 17, you take your date for some lasagna, or if you're on a very long road
Shoot,
trip
rather
and
go
you're
to
just
Starbucks,
so
boys.
sick of eating Freddy's that, like, sure, they have Italian. Why not? I'll have an Alfredo. Then you have an Alfredo on your road trip, and guess what happens? Anyway, Starbucks is just a shoe in here. Everyone's been there. Everyone goes. I don't even like the way they brew coffee, but I still go. Because it's there. Starbucks is there. It's literally across the street from the other Starbucks. And like I said, I usually will get an Americano or a drip, but sometimes I'll get a little fancy and do a frapple appuccino or whatever. I like a chai now and then, maybe a dirty chai. But they burn their beans on purpose. It's like their marketing tool, and it's a really bad idea because it makes the beans bad. Their beans are bad. Their coffee sucks. There's every other coffee establishment is better than Starbucks, but it's okay because they have this, they have the merch, they got the brand, they're everywhere, they're not going away. They are it. Starbucks wins.
So yeah, for me, it's going to be Starbucks. I had admitted it, but I went ahead and looked at the menu for Fazoli's, even though I'd never been there, and they kind of look like I think it's called Pasta Express in California, which was very similar to this. Now, I don't think Starbucks. I like Starbucks coffee in most cases. You get what you are paying for. It is the new Model T. So kids, Google it if you're wondering what that reference was for. But it is. It's an assembly line coffee. It's going to be exactly the same everywhere you go.
Okay.
All the robots are hammering. This part goes here. This part goes here. And here's your coffee every single time. And for the most part, everywhere you go, it's going to taste the same, unless you got a barista that's feeling a little fancy, and they put a little something on your coffee. Then you'll taste the difference. Outside of that, I will say Josh is very well traveled, and he is a very cultured individual. And I love when White Man comes out and he calls it Alfredo. I love it when it sneaks in.
Alfredo.
When it sneaks in and you hear him do it, you're like, oh yeah, he is a white guy. Like he might say fajitas on accident from time to time.
No, I do it ironically, but it's not ironic because everyone just assumes I'm going to say it that way. Who got a quesadilla here? You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So I will also not go with the Alfredo. I will go with the Starbucks, and they got me hooked on those cranberry bliss bars when I'm stateside, when I'm in the United States and I come around every Christmas. I don't know why I like them so much, but they're so tasty.
You know, you surprised me one time. I came to stay with you for a little vacay, and you were kind of a regular of the Starbies, right? Like, you get the little egg poppers when they have them around. Little egg popperinos. What are they called?
Oh, you're talking about the sous vide eggs?
Sous vide eggs, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you paid like $14 for 3 eggs that are like boiled. But whatever.
It's the protein content, man. It's like 8 grams of protein per egg, so I got to get 4 of them.
I was just flabbergasted by the amount of money you spent on 3 eggs, but
I can't say anything because I spent how many amount is for that damn pineapple drink at Starbucks, so I can't even complain about that.
Oh, no joke. We all know the struggle. I mean, like a chai tea, a grande. No, venti, that's 20. That's the big one from a movie. Remember that reference? Anyway, everything costs a lot of money. It's an ongoing meme about how a mug costs $40 or whatever. Like, Starbucks is expensive as hell, and they're allowed to get away with it.
It is. But you know what? Shout out, because I know their employees tried to unionize because of some things. But before that even happened, Starbucks has always given their employees health care. Even if they're part-time employees, they can opt into a healthcare plan, and that's one of the reasons why their drinks and their food are a little bit more expensive. So consider that these factors matter, because
Yeah.
yes, it is cheaper to go to the diner next door, but I guarantee you that diner next door isn't giving their employees healthcare benefits. So
Absolutely
these,
not.
Right.
yeah, these things
So
should
their
matter.
corporate structure is trying its best.
No.
How's that?
Without allowing a union. Yes, they are union smashers, but there are certain areas where they are trying their best. I swear, the host of this show is like a distracted 2-year-old right now with that damn Stretch Armstrong.
Honestly, I'm very sorry, but like it's becoming a problem. Like the ooze is getting everywhere, and I don't know what to do.
He's
Like,
tried to
it's
plug it with
ruined-
multiple items. If you're
It's
paying
really
attention
like
to
my
his
favorite
screen,
box right now. Anyway, let's move on. I have it in a safe. It's sequestered at the moment.
no, it's okay. Maye took the moment of distraction to apply lip balm. So there's a lot going
Yeah.
on. We're
making me
spinning a
nervous.
lot of things.
I needed it. Felt like it was necessary. Sorry.
I'm gonna need some tools.
to deal with you guys. I'm gonna have to
All right,
deal with
let's
you
move on.
guys. Let's go all the way
Merci.
down to
Just
the
put that
bottom
on
of
my
the bracket.
business.
Let's go to our number 15 seed, 7-Eleven, open 24/7, and Dunkin' Donuts as our
Dang.
2 seed. Our 2
Dang.
seed.
Why you gotta do 7-Eleven like that though? Like, come on now, man.
Because, their food's been sitting on those little spinny heaters for 12 hours before you get drunk enough to eat it.
Or
It's
high,
true.
yeah. It's true. All right, who's
Josh,
starting
go
up?
ahead.
Maya, you want to go? Oh, I'll go. Okay, cool. So I actually sort of we discussed the bracket. This is a difficult bracket to figure out because it's not just burgers or it's not just this or that. We had to like work it out. I felt that 7-Eleven deserves more than anything to be on the miscellaneous bracket because it is kind of anything and it's kind of everywhere. Maybe even on Earth, more or less. I don't know, whatever. But they got pizza, they got doggies, they got taquitos in some locations, they got churros, maybe if you're lucky. They also have the chips. They got all the swagger you want for a miscellaneous category, and they're 24/7 most of the time, not 7-Eleven. But the
Slurpees.
alternative here is, oh yes, Slurpees, and they have a national holiday, Slurpee Day.
Yeah.
Now that's some history, bud.
They also get turned into, what's the gas station? Why did this just happen to
Quickie
me?
Mart.
Yeah, they get turned into Quickie Marts, like once a year too, right?
Who needs
Yep.
the Quickie Mart? I do. Remember that episode? Anyway, yeah, so 7-Eleven has a place in our heart. I used to be a stoner who hung out in front of the 7-Eleven.
Like Jay and
that
Silent
was-
Bob style?
Straight up, dude. I used to do that. Like, there's a payphone right here. We can call our homies and see where the party's at. That's what we did.
Payphone right here.
What year is this?
I don't even know anymore. 2024? Maybe.
Anyway, so I have love for the 7-Eleven. I have love for the corner store in general. I'm a big fan of all the mom and pops, etc. But then we got the Dunkin' Donuts, okay? Dunkin' Donuts used to be just a thing that was kind of niche. It was around, but it
East
blew
Coast.
up hard. It
It
blew
was
up
like an
hard,
East Coast,
baby
New
boy.
York thing, man.
And yeah, and so like I said, we got the Starbucks with their burnt beans on purpose. Dunkin' doesn't burn their beans. They got great coffee. They have great options. Maybe not as profound as a Starbucks, but they got the coffee. They got the coffee you need, bub. They also have some pretty decent donuts. I wouldn't say top tier donuts. There's plenty of better donuts, but they're not that bad. Their breakfast is so good. Their sausages are spiced perfectly. The cheese on the sandwich, the type of bread they use, the fact that they have donuts as well as a sausage egg sandwich is enough for a Midwestern diabetes-bound boy like me. So I go Dunkin'.
No, I mean, Josh, I'm absolutely with you on that, on Dunkin' Donuts, and honestly, I might be getting the horse or the cart ahead of the horse. Wow, what happened to me there? Anyway,
Horse
I
cart.
might be putting the cart ahead of the horse here, but if I have a Dunkin' Donuts and a Starbucks across the street from each other, I will always go Dunkin' Donuts. You can get the turkey sausage sandwich, at Dunkin' Donuts year round, whereas you can only get the cage-free egged, only slightly reduced fat bacon sandwich like every once in a while when they have it, and it's not even that good. But at Dunkin' Donuts, it's actually pretty tasty. Dunkin' also has bagels on the menu. They don't just have donuts, and it's affordable. Dunkin' Donuts, when you order a coffee from Dunkin' Donuts, you order a large, it comes out like it's like a 7-Eleven Big Gulp cup that they give you your iced coffee in. Whereas
like that's for people who are on the job. Starbucks is for people who are having a nice walk.
Yeah, and they did the whole. Go ahead. What was that?
Hipsters.
You said hipsters.
That's more of a Dutch Bros, I think. I think that's the hipsters is the Dutch Brosies now.
Yeah.
But but for me, Dunkin' Donuts is the go-to. You get a coffee that's going to last you a while. And now Starbucks is doing the charge you in some locations for light ice. If you ask for light ice, Starbucks will sometimes charge you now extra for requesting light ice because they know you have extra coffee. Which is like
because they know we figured out their tricks.
Yeah, they know. They know. We are aware. McDonald's, Starbucks, Burger King. I never order ice since I was 8 years old. I never order a drink with ice. One, it already comes out cold. Two, it's a ripoff. It's just a ripoff. They're just literally filling a cup with ice, and you're done.
Have you seen these videos? Have you seen these videos where they like do a cup full of ice and then do a large cup full of ice? Yeah. It's the exact same amount of liquid
every single time. Every single time. All right. So for me, it's very obviously going to be Dunkin' Donuts, but let's key in on 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven is always there for you. That's what I will say. 7-Eleven is legitimately always there for you with their, half-burnt, burst open burritos that have been on the little microwave area forever, the pizza that's staled out on the crust. You can actually order a whole pizza from 7-Eleven. Did you guys know this? Are you aware of this?
Oh, yeah.
You can order a whole pizza.
Big time, bud.
7-Eleven.
And they're like Little Caesars level. They're okay. If you eat them right now, they're okay.
I'm sorry, Little Caesars. I will not agree with Josh on that. They are not, to me, Little Caesars level.
They're good if you eat them right now.
They're good if it's your only option, for sure. Okay, if it is the last resort. Now, I will say this also about 7-Eleven. They actually have a fresh food section that they have to change out every single 3 days or once a week, depending on what it is.
That's true.
So they will have like fresh nuts, fresh berries. They'll have fresh sandwiches that are made. They actually have a fresh food section that they have to patrol. So I don't know necessarily that 7-Eleven should be a 15 seed, but I also know that in this bracket and what we're doing here, they do have great cultural impact. They do have historical significance, but they're just not better when it comes to menu than Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, dude, it's a gas station.
So, sorry. Let's go over to you. What do you think, Maye?
I think, 7-Eleven has a lot of nostalgia for me because my mom used to take Jordan and I to 7-Eleven almost every Friday if we did well in school to get Slurpees. So that was pretty much our reward every Friday. I really got upset when they started to pay attention to the kids who were mixing the flavors, mixing the cherry, the blue, and the Coke all together, because apparently that's a no-no. You can't do that. I'm still going to do it anyway, just not when you're looking. And then I'll mix it together so that way you can't tell the difference. But it's just me. I've only been to Dunkin' Donuts once. And I think that's because most of the time my family were on the go. We'll try to have a coffee before we leave the house. If we don't, that's typically when we stop and get coffee. Otherwise, we're just going to end up killing each other.
Fair.
We need coffee to survive a very big family. Yeah.
War of exhaustion is a very real thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, we need coffee to survive each other because even though we can laugh and cry amongst each other, we need the coffee for it to be able to be successful. So it's just how it works. I would say only because it's a place where you could get sandwiches and you can get coffee and you can get all that stuff, that it would be above 7-Eleven, because 7-Eleven typically people are just in and out to get gas or to get something quick on the go before they leave, and they're most likely going to travel pretty far. There's not always a guarantee that they're going to actually stop and get something. Plus, like you said, how long have they been having those hot dogs and nachos and all that laying there for how many hours?
No.
Yeah, no, it's not for me. I'm a little upset now knowing that they're charging for less ice. How does that make
At
sense? I'm asking
Starbucks?
you for less ice and you're going to charge me money. That doesn't make sense to me. But I'm also like you. I used to not order ice and I still don't a lot when I go
Yeah.
places.
Mm-hmm.
If Dunkin'
So
Donuts can give me a
European.
pretty big cup of coffee, great. We're good. Like,
Yeah.
I don't need anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dunkin' Donuts, good about that. They give you a whole chunk. But let's move it forward. Let's move this thing forward. Let's go ahead and move to our 10 seed versus our 7 seed, which is Cinnabon at 10 seed and Krispy Kreme at a 7 seed. And I'm going to kick us off here. The only reason I don't eat Cinnabon every single damn day of my life, one is because it doesn't exist in England, and two because I will weigh 5,000 pounds. Cinnabon is ooey gooey, melty, sweet cream and cinnamon, and it is so good.
I almost passed out laughing. So
It is delicious. Cinnabon is so good.
It's
And they have so many different kinds. They'll throw some pecans on there for you if you ask for it. They will. At the Cinnabon at the mall I used to work at way back in the day, they used to sell breakfast burritos. So you get a big healthy dose of diabetes with a breakfast burrito packed with everything, and then you're like, well, I know it's breakfast, but maybe I want a little bit of dessert. So you get a Cinnabon on the side, and then on top of all of that, exactly on top of all that, you get a cinnamon mocha, which is just so good. It is so good, right? And I love Cinnabon. Krispy Kreme, they're lacking on their coffee. They're not great. Krispy Kreme is a top tier original donut if you stick to the original. Their fillers and everything, they're fine, they're good. They do a good donut, but for me, the 10 seed is going to upset here because with Cinnabon, you're never going to be disappointed. You're never getting a stale Cinny. It's never going to happen. So, Maya, what do you think?
I gotta go Cinnabon. I like Cinnabon, but I have a sweet tooth. Like, it's bad. It's really, really bad. I feel like if I given the opportunity, I would probably go there every day to get a Cinnabon because that's how bad my sweet tooth is. So I would pick it over Krispy Kreme just simply because it's deliciousness, and sometimes they put it just in a little cup and it's convenient. I don't like when they're out of cups and they give you a bag because then it just feels like it's way more messy. In my point of view, but I do generally enjoy Cinnabon because I just feel like the warm gooiness of it. It just warms your heart. Versus Krispy Kreme, you might get a stale donut. You might get one, but you might get one that's actually fresh and tastes delicious. That's very true. I'm just gonna go with what I know and what I like. I'm gonna go with Cinnabon.
I got those Cinny minis, those little ones that you just pop in.
They're so good. It's so good.
All right, Josh, take us home.
Okay, Krispy Kreme, wonderful business engine, right? Like they show you the conveyor belts. It's in the window. You can see it as you're driving, doing the drive up. Like it's there. Like they're making donuts right now, baby. And it's just so honestly when you put a hot Krispy Kreme, the whole thing smushes up just right to get in your mouth. One bite.
One bite.
I mean, honestly, you can edit this if you want, but it tastes like God's vagina. Like, my goodness, it's good. However, I say this knowing that it's my least favorite donut. This is just how I feel about donuts, right? So, Krispy Kreme's good. It's too fluffy. I like it cakey. I like the cake. It's not my favorite donut. I will never choose Krispy Kreme. This is just how I feel about donuts. Maya, you say you have a sweet tooth. My family has like a heirloom recipe book. It's mostly baked goods. Like we do brownies, dog. We do all. That's what we do. It's just in our hearts to eat baked goods. Cinnabon is the ultimate baked good that you can purchase on the market. Louis C.K., I'm not sure if you are aware of him, but he has a really good bit about Cinnabon. You should check it out. I'm not going to bother doing it. I love Cinnabon. I'm from Louisiana, where everything's poor and you don't know it when you're raised there. And then I moved to Phoenix, and I went to Scottsdale Mall and had Cinnabon for the first time in this rich person mall. Like, they got rich people stuff here. And I had a Cinnabon, and my mom gave it to me, and I was like, "What is this?" And she told me, and I said, "And you can just get as many as you want." Like, I'm like getting giddy thinking about the first time I had one of these things. The butter, it's like 4,000 calories, dog. It's so good. Extra schnauz. Give me some schnauz. I love Cinnabon. Cinnabon wins.
Cinnabon wins. Yeah, I mean, like that was a clean sweep. And I think this one might be too. We struggled with this one. Unfortunately, I think just on our grading scale with historical significance and cultural impact, our 1 and 2 seeds kind of took it away. And they leveled this restaurant down to a 3 seed. I use the term restaurant very loosely. But Panda Express is our 3 seed. And then we've got Tim Hortons as our 14 seed. Maye, what do you think?
You pick me first. See, I love Chinese food. Like, I really, really love Chinese food. I will pick it over Mexican food any day. And that's saying a lot because, well, I am who I am. So for me, Chinese food is always like my go-to. If you ask me what do I want for my birthday, Chinese food. But Panda Express, it's not really. Is it Chinese food? I mean, it's supposed to be Chinese food,
Taco Bell
but
is
it's
Mexican
not.
food.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I'm like, I mean, it's there, and I feel like every time I've gone and I get like a bowl, I typically will order either rice with orange chicken or chow mein with orange chicken, and they're always skimpy on the meat. So it's just like a thing of chow mein and a thing of rice, and then like maybe 2-3 pieces of chicken. No. Like, I'm paying
interested
what
in that.
12,
Okay.
$13 for this crap, and you're telling me that I'm only gonna have 3 pieces of chicken? Like, no. So I'm not gonna vote for them, even though like every part of me wants to vote for Chinese food. I'm gonna go with the other option, even though I've never had it, because I'm just so disappointed every time I order with the amount of chicken that I get.
Tim Hortons, huh?
That's aggressive. Josh, thoughts?
Okay. Well, I'm honestly, I'm boggled because my experience with Panda is they give you so much that your cellophane is leaking, dog. Like they pile it up. What are you talking about? I get 3 selections, and then I get my side, and I get my side, and this is they somehow fit this into a regular 9x9.
The third selection comes like for me in like a separate little take-home thing.
Okay. So it's 1, 2, then 1, 2, 3. You're right. Like, they leave your bag leaking. Like, you have to worry about when you're leaving the house or leaving the restaurant. Like you gotta make sure that it doesn't get sweet and sour on your seat before you get home. Like, you gotta put a towel down. That's my experience with every Panda I've been to.
You know what I think, Josh?
I remember paying. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's fair prices, but it's not awful. Like, you pay a decent amount. And okay, just personal experience. Tell me if you guys experienced this.
Josh, do you think that the person that is serving Lizette her Panda Express is the person that was behind her in the pay it forward line at Starbucks? And they're just like, no.
Oh, God, no. Probably. Watch that be the reason.
No, yeah. So I just wanted to say, like, maybe a broad question. I don't drink Fanta, really. I'm not mad about it when a Fanta's there, but it's never my choice. But when I'm at Panda Express, I have to drink orange soda or Chinese food in general. Is that a thing for you guys? Orange soda is it. It's the perfect pairing with Chinese food.
So.
No, I go for Sprite mostly. Like, as for me, it's my soda of choice.
Citrus. Okay.
But
cool.
Orange soda, I will say I've had it before with when they don't have Sprite.
Orange soda is just so good with Chinese food. I don't know.
So let me respect Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons is basically the Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks of the Canadas, the great north of North America. But they're just starting to integrate themselves into North America. There's one in Bahrain. and I've had it, and they've got an amazing maple bacon donut. Very good. But I will say that it's not going to beat Panda Express. Panda Express was like a staple of my childhood. It really was. It was my mom knew we were going to get enough food, unlike the person that just hates Maye. Whoever we went to would just load up our little what are those styrofoam trays with tons of food. And it was just a part of who I was growing up. Like I was probably 1/3 orange chicken. So for me, it's going to have to be Panda Express, and we'll just see what happens in the next round. Just like we're going to see what happens here, Josh, with Long John Silver's and Pete's. What do you think?
Long John Silver's versus Pete's Coffee.
Versus Pete's Coffee. This is our first real heavy mix-up.
Yeah. I think first place of coffee for me is Pete's or the Windmill Place.
Okay.
Brothers. What's it called?
Dutch Brothers.
Dutchies. Yeah.
I see that it's one of your
Dutchies
favorites.
and Pete's. They're both very, very good. But Dutch Brothers didn't make the list because it only serves coffee pretty much. Like, there's no biscuits.
Yeah.
Pete has a little bakery, so they kind of count, and they're just really good. They're in a lot of airports across America, and their beans are not burnt. Their beans are very, very good. I like a little bit of cinnamon in my drip. You know, maybe a cold. Oof, super good. I love Pete's. I'm lost. What was that other one?
Long John
Silver's. The only reason Long John Silver's is still a place is for two. The first one is everybody likes hush puppies. So that's one. But the real reason is Long John Silver's and Captain D's. By the way, Captain D's, Long John Silver's, same place. It's just a different mafia family that's running it to launder their money. There's no reason that Captain D's or Long John Silver's made it through COVID? Are you serious? Place is garbage. It's grease. Everything is fried. There's nothing in there that will make you leave feeling like I'd made some good choices in my life. It's awful. Like, not that the fish is bad. It's just like it's so breaded. It's so gross. I would rather have fish that I've prepared myself. I just don't trust fish made by some company that probably is barely making the standards of cleanliness. It's a mafia front. I'm calling it, dude. I've always felt like that. It's a money laundering scheme. There's no way people love Long John Silver's. Get out of here.
I think he means allegedly.
Pete's wins.
Does it win? I was sitting here like, so it doesn't win then.
Yeah.
I will say this. I've been to Long John Silver's once. People really hate Captain D's, and I don't get it because I had a really positive experience with Captain D's. So I don't know. Captain D's was fine, but
it's the same thing.
You know, I've never been to Long John Silver's, and there was a Long John Silver's literally across the street from one of my first apartments, and I never went. And it was I would walk 6 blocks to Buffalo Wild Wings before I'd go to that Long John Silver's.
Exactly.
and really funny story is one time my wife was using my car, and this is when we could only be a 1-car house. And I had to get a ride home from work, and the guy driving me, he goes, "Yeah, if you don't mind, I'm just going to stop at Long John Silver's." And I was like perplexed. I was like, it's your car, but it's like,
why?
There's like a Burger King like 6 blocks up.
Yeah, like you're gonna let fish in your car?
Yeah, it really threw me off when he said, "I'm just gonna pull into the Long John Silver's really quick." But to each their own. To each their own. For me, it's very easily to be Pete's. And my compliment here is Pete's does a good everything bagel with a good iced black cold brew. Their iced black cold brew is one of the tastier black coffees, and I'm pretty much exclusive black coffee. I'm not saying I've never had a sugary drink. Whenever I say something like that, people are like, "Well, you said you've never." Oh, you always have those people that are around you, you know, with the one time you do something different. Yeah. Oh, I thought you never did that. No, you did it. Like, who are you?
I'm that person.
Yeah.
To you, at least.
Sherlock Dixworth? Like, what is going on? Like, why do you have to, like, yeah, you're right. I had a marshmallow frappe once because it looked good. I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought you always pee standing up.
So for me, yeah, it's going to be Pete's. What do you think? Where are we going with Long John Silver's versus Pete's?
First of all, I want to address the Burger King thing because they're liars. Okay, they say have it your way, but they lie. Quick, when I saw their episode on burgers, and just watching that was very triggering for me because when I went to Burger King and I asked for basically like a lettuce wrap because I did not want a bun, they said they could not give me that. They could give me the Beyond Burger, which still has a bun. I don't want the bread. I want the real beef. I don't want the imitation meat. I just don't want a bun. Oh, we can't do that. So I'll stick with chicken fries, I guess. Then I'm just not going to have the burger. But that's just me ranting on that. For Pete's and Long John Silver's, I'm a little hurt about the dislike for Long John Silver's because I would get that during Lent. My mom would just take us on Fridays because, again, Jordan and I, we went to the same school. So my mom would either go to 7-Eleven on a Friday or take us to Burger King on a Friday to give us a treat for the week. Well, on Lent, we couldn't eat meat 3 days a week. So she would make sure that she took us somewhere where they had fish. And that was always Long John Silver's. When they closed in Manteca in California, we didn't know where they went. So we just didn't go anymore. And they had one in Modesto, and then they had one in Stockton. And I'm like, I'm not going to Stockton for Long John Silver's. I'm not going.
Josh, do you have the same picture I have of Maya and her mom and Jordan holding hands, standing where it used to be, just staring. Where did they put Long John? Then Lizette slowly looks up at her mom. Where did they put Long John Silver's, Mummy?
Mummy?
And it's like, it's gone. So at this point, my mom's like, you know what? Let's just get some frozen fish sticks or whatever from the store and just put that in the oven or whatever. So we would do that.
Which is the same food.
You know what?
Frozen fish, either way.
Like,
I love a fish stick. I'm just saying, I would rather have Safeway fish sticks, for sure. And I've had a very bad experience with Safeway fish sticks.
It was a finger.
Oh.
It was bad.
Ew. No, I'm going to go with Pete's, though, because they have really good coffee. I would even prefer their coffee over Starbucks because, to me, it's just better coffee. Black or even fancied up.
Well, we've got a bagel joint, and I'm saving 2 bagel joints for last. But we've got our first bagel joint that Josh literally fought tooth and nail for, through elbows, kicked me through a digital screen to make the 4-seed. And that is Einstein's Bagels at number 4 and Orange Julius at number 13. So really quick, before I get just trucked, I'm just going to say Einstein Bagels wins. I think that Einstein makes a great bagel. They do great bagel sandwiches. They have the bagel boiler like right in front of you, like a real New York bagel. And they'll cook them in front of you, and they'll do their coffee, and you can order it by the boxes. In fact, I used to go to Einstein's when I'd cater events a lot more than I'd go anywhere else. As far as if I was entering during the morning time frame, I'd always go to Einstein's because it was actually fairly affordable for a couple boxes of coffee and some bagels. Whereas for Orange Julius, I've literally only ever had an Orange Julius one time because I was curious what it tasted like. And it tasted like a orange cream milkshake. But Josh, go ahead. Tell me why you fought so hard for this.
So there might be some people right now angry we have Orange Julius here at all. However, a smoothie does count as a meal, sort of. And also, most locations of Orange Julius serve hot dogs. I think that is so they can get through the red tape of being a restaurant, whatever the taxes might imply. I don't know. But we got hot dogs too. We serve food. They're not good. They're bad. But the Orange Julius is, it's going to be a $14 smoothie that's more fattening than you might have wanted, but it's pretty good if you're going for a little walk. I get the 3-berry. I get the 3-berry blend. Is what it's called. Strawberries are heavy on that one. Pretty good. I like it. It's cool. But Einstein's Bagels. First of all, a little trivia. That was my first job.
Oh,
But also,
little John's trivia.
Yeah, my very first job was Einstein Bagels. It was about 200 yards from my house, and I could run there if I had to. And I did a lot. I ran there full sprint to get my bagels for breakfast because it's I love Einstein's. It has changed its business model a little bit over the years, but it's remained still good. Not a whole lot of bad, mostly good. They have great coffee. If you're on location, they do change it every like 20 minutes. Like it's a brand new bean every 20 minutes. It's so good. Bagels are pretty standard, as you might expect. They got all the different flavors. Green chili in some locations, fantastic. They got the schmears. They schmear it the way you ought to. Like they don't just do the thin spread. But they also have incredible things. They got a really good lunch, brunch, or breakfast. Like they really do nail it. They got what you need. Mostly healthy options, turkey sausages, egg whites if you like. We like all that stuff. Great meat. I just love them. My only issue with Einstein's, from the inside, little trivia about Einstein's, at the end of the day, they just toss all those bagels and foods. They're not allowed to give it away. So you just got like trash bags full of bagels and cinnamon rolls and all these things that like we could just donate this, but they're not allowed to because of tax stuff. So
there's laws too. There's lots of laws against that. I looked into that too.
But it's bread. It's bread that's less than a day old. Like, give it to them.
But if somebody claims they got food poisoning from it, they could sue on it. There's all kinds of stuff.
There's so much, and that sucks. Bureaucracy, red tape. But I still go Einstein's. Einstein's is one of those places I would put on my top 10, maybe 15.
All right. Lizette, do you agree?
So I'm looking at the menu because I've never heard of Einstein's bagels.
Wow.
And I'm looking at it. It looks very appetizing to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really care for smoothies all that much. I feel like they're not something that I gravitate to. So I would probably go with Einstein's just by looking at their menu. Their food looks actually really delicious. I want to try that bacon cheddar brunch special.
Yeah.
It looks just really, really good.
Ideas.
Yeah.
I get the Santa Fe. Their hot
good.
sauce is hot enough. Like it's good.
See, I might have to try that one then. I would rather have a bagel than I would have a smoothie, if I'm being honest, because I feel like you can add stuff to it. People put, guacamole on their. It's not avocado when it's cream, okay? It's basically like guacamole. You just smashed it up and put it on a bagel. The only thing you're missing is the cilantro and the tomatoes and the onions and pretty much everything else that goes inside guacamole. So for me, it would be rather having a bagel. Yeah, it's white people guacamole where it has like absolutely nothing besides the avocado. And
what's in it? Salt.
I would just rather have that.
Salt.
Everything bagel. Like you're missing the onion, cilantro. But it did look good. Like, I don't know. I had my first. It was I guess you would say like a specialty bagel when I was gonna go get contacts for the first time, and they put the that salmon like slices on it, and they put the cream cheese and then sprouts.
The capers.
Yeah, and they put all this other stuff on there, and it was delicious.
So good.
Yeah. It was delicious. I was like, okay,
Love that shit.
now I get it. Now I get why people are like, "Oh, go get a specialty bagel in the morning. It's delicious. I will have that again."
Truly.
So, gotta find an Einstein's near me because that did look good.
I think
you gotta get a bagel, and they close in the late afternoon, but like great for breakfast, great for lunch. It's so stinking good.
But it sounds like Einstein takes that away. And now we're going to go to the Wiener Schnitzel at number 5. This was another tough one. Like, I kind of fought for Wiener Schnitzel to be a little bit higher up because it was around a lot when I was a kid. And I've been to it a couple of times as an adult, and I'm not ashamed to say it because they have you know what? It's not my turn. We'll talk about it later. But anyway, they're going up against the 12 seed Noodles and Company. So, Maye, back to you. Just pick it up where you left off. What are we doing here?
I gotta go Wiener Schnitzel. I gotta go
Hmm.
there because my dad, I mean, that's nostalgic for me. My dad likes chili dogs, so he would go all the time and get chili dogs from Wiener Schnitzel, and then he would get me corn dogs, even though we could probably have the corn dogs at home. Um, but it was just like our treat when he had the day off. And my dad has always worked in Menlo Park, so he would literally go 4 hours on the road all the time. So when he had a Thursday off, it was there, and it was usually just me and him. He would allow me to curse, because my mom wouldn't let me. And he's like, "Your mom's not here. Have at it. Tell me how your day was. Who did you not like? Who was not being nice? Who was being rude?" And it was a free for all. So it was just one of those moments that I truly cherish. And even to this day, I'll still go every now and then and get a corn dog or so. And I know my dad,
That's great.
he let it slip that he went to a Wiener Schnitzel because my mom went into his car and saw the wrappings in the back seat. And he's not supposed to be having that much fast food. So, I mean,
Look at chili dogs, so sue me.
he's like, it was on the way. No, no, it was not on the way. That was the opposite direction of where you have to drive. But okay. I'm gonna have to go with them just for nostalgic purposes.
All right, Josh.
Oh yeah, Noodles and Company, wonderful place. They got all the stuff. They got worldwide cuisine on a very concise menu. So not really, but they have, they get a little bit of this, a little bit of that, all kinds of noodles, very customizable options. Wonderful situation. Schoolsy. But, noodles, really, like, give me $15 and I can, like, feed 10 people with some good noodles. Why are you paying so much money for some noodles? Like, you're
Not
out.
only does
you're,
he look
you're
like
gonna
Jesus, he can feed people like Jesus.
but like you're going out on the town and you're about to have like a half gallon of pasta. It's just not viable, really. I love it.
Why are there noodles on the dance floor? Somebody went to Noodles and Company before the club.
What stinks around here? Someone's been garlicking hard. Little story about Noodles and Company. I was introduced to it by my friend. You might know him, Rick Fry. But he said, you got to go here. You got to go here. They got all kinds of noodles, any kind of noodles you want. I can't wait. So we go, and I get the Cajun thing. It was a really good Cajun thing, but he orders first, and we're just watching him order. He ordered noodles with butter and a whole bunch of limes. So he paid about $10 for butter noodles. It was really vexing. Like, what is going on here? And he used the lemons to make lemonade with his water that he got sugar packets. Like, why are you acting poor in a very expensive restaurant? It's really strange. Anyway,
it was Airman days.
Oh yeah, it was Airman days. But I was just confused. Like, we could have done this for $2 at home. Like, why are we doing this? This is weird.
For free at the Chow Hall.
Yeah, for free at the Chow Hall. It was so strange. But anyway, I like Noodles and Company. I forgot the competition again.
Wiener Schnitzel.
Wiener Schnitzel. But Wiener Schnitzel is just so much better, dude. Like, you can get like a sack of chili dogs. That should be the end of the debate. Like, that's it. You can get a sack of chili dogs. And do you want a bunch of pastrami on top? Sure, no problem, bud. Get a burger with pastrami. They got pastrami. That's all I gotta say. It's like there's so many like debate-ending statements you can make about Wiener Schnitzel that it might take the cake in the end. We'll see. Wiener Schnitzel is a really good place, and I go Wiener all day. I go Wiener all day.
All right. So with that, I'm just gonna go Wiener Schnitzel. I love Wiener Schnitzel, and I'm really mad that there's so many things that I'm mad about, and I'm glad at the same time. Because we're getting to the crux of this, and I get to talk about all this food I love. I have had probably 1,000 chili cheese fry burritos because of Wiener Schnitzel. Because at Wiener Schnitzel, they're $1.25, and they $1.25 for a chili cheese fry burrito, and they will load up a burrito with fries, throw some chili over it, some cheese over that, and roll it up, and you could just eat it on the road. On top of that, for $5.99, you used to be able to buy literally a bag of 15 mini corn dogs 15 mini corn dogs for $5.99, and I would just munch on those as I drive down the road when I was riding on the road. They were so good. It was like one of the few places my wife and I could agree to go to when that was like a fast food place, and she would sin, in my opinion, because she would just order chili dogs, right, like 3 of them, and she'd use a spoon to eat the chili off the dog, take a bite out of the dog, and then feed the hot dog to our dogs. And I'm like, just order a bowl of chili. Stop.
I really wish you had told me that. I really wish that I did not know that.
It's perplexing to watch.
I'm very
Wait
mad.
a minute. The funny part is I know someone who would do that. I know people who would do that.
Oh, man. But anyway.
I'm very mad.
So Sonics isn't going to move forward, but Wiener Schnitzel is. It's Wiener Schnitzel. And now we're on to our very, 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 very last one of the initial 64 restaurant bracket. And our final matchup is Noah's Bagels against Nathan's Dogs. And I'm going to lead off here, and I'm going to tell you right now, Nathan owns a holiday. And Nathan didn't create a holiday. Nathan owns an American holiday. They own 4th of July. They own 4th of July. Because every 4th of July, it's fireworks and the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. And we all tune in to check out Joey Chestnut and watch him shove 72 dogs right down his maw. He eats every single one. He saved America with Nathan's. Okay? Because he took out Kobayashi, and Kobayashi was putting us over his knee for years. For years, Kobayashi was bending America over and saying, "This is your food, watch me eat all of it." And then Joey Chestnut said, yeah, he was basically Ivan Drago of food eating competitions. And then Joey Chestnut said, no, sir. And now Joey Chestnut holds like every hot dog record ever. They even made an ESPN documentary on Joey Chestnut. The food at the restaurant is meh. I'm just going to be honest. But because of that cultural impact, because of the history behind it, because of the mustard yellow belt, they're going to beat Noah's, even though Noah's, in my opinion, is the best bagel. Noah's makes the best
good
bagel. But there's just too much history. There's too much going on with Nathan's in this competition. Nathan's, is going to win. Josh, rebuttal?
Well, I'm not sure if it's a rebuttal as a parallelogram.
Parallelogram.
Yes, parallelogram. Brief story. I used to live in a suburb of Baltimore, and I had a really wonderful nature trail behind houses and such, weaved through the town right by my house. So I would ride my bike. And then one day I had the thought, I'm just going to ride this trail until it's done, to the end of the trail. I don't even know how long it is. I'm going to find out. I packed sandwiches. The sandwiches were lost because I left my backpack open. I didn't know this until a long time into the ride. I was hungry. In the end, though, I went from basically Baltimore to Annapolis, which is the ocean. So the trail's done. And I see a bagel shop, and it's the best thing I've ever seen. I go there, and I didn't know it was a chain. It was Noah's Bagels was right there in Annapolis Port. And it was just... I'm getting emotional thinking about how delicious those 2 egg bagel sandwiches were. And I sat there outside Noah's drinking a beer. And I had just ridden 25 miles. I've never ridden that far with a bicycle before. I'd just ridden 25 miles, and I ate a bunch of bagel sandwich and looked at the boats. And then I rode my bike back 25 more miles. It was like one of the greatest days of my life. So Noah's is going to win. Just kidding. Nathan's wins because I didn't know Nathan's had a restaurant. Everyone knows what Nathan's is because Nathan's is everywhere. Nathan's wins because their hot dogs are everywhere. They're not my favorite. I'm a Hebrew national man. Or why not just buy bratwurst, you idiot? Like, stupid. But, Nathan's is everywhere. Nathan's is the winner, despite my bias.
My very last on the bracket. Go.
I had to look up both of them while you guys were talking because I don't think I've ever been to Nathan's and I don't think I've ever had a Noah's bagel. But then again, I'm not the type of person who normally goes and gets a bagel. I've just recently started doing that after having one experience with a absolutely delicious bagel, which we already mentioned before. I don't know. I mean, I'm a sucker for a hot dog. It's convenient, it's quick, it's easy. But I did look at their menu on here on my phone, and they have more than just hot dogs. And it looks very they do look appetizing, but I'm just wondering if it's convenient because for that price, I'm assuming that you could just buy, the wiener and the buns and then make your own hot dog, you make your own burgers, make your own stuff at home. But for the sake of this video, maybe I would pick them over the bagel because of the fact that, I mean, it is very like a celebration type feast. Think about it, 4th of July, you do think of hot dogs and burgers. That's typically what you do at a barbecue, right? So it's like, okay, well, I would probably go with that.
No, I take bagels.
Really? over a hot dog and burger? I mean,
just passing out bagels at 4th of July events.
Yeah. Hey, have a
hell is
bagel.
this?
This one has some sprouts and some tuna or some salmon. Just take a bagel. My family's gonna be looking at like, ¿Qué te pasa? What are you doing?
I'm
This
gonna
is
be
nothing.
at the grill. All the bagel halves are gonna be on the grill, and I'm gonna pop open the grill when somebody walks up. I'm gonna take a bagel. I'm gonna go, instead of what type of meat, I'm gonna go schmear.
Schmear.
My Nina would be like, ¿Qué carajo es esto? Like, what is this? This is not a burger. Is this a donut? Because of the hole, my Nina would literally think it's a donut. She hates donuts. So I would have to go with Nathan's.
Donut.
Was it Nathan's? We need a definitive
Nathan's.
answer.
That would be my go-to would probably be Nathan's. If I'm looking at the menu and the way it is, then it would probably be Nathan's.
A vote for Nathan's is a vote for
That's
America.
it. Nathan's wins. So the quick recap. Starbucks beats Fazoli's. Nathan's beats Noah's. Wiener Schnitzel takes out Noodles and Company. Einstein Bagels takes out a Orange Julius. Long John Silver's ends up off the pier. It walks the plank as Pete's takes it out. Panda Express takes out the Great North. Tim Hortons goes down. Cinnabon, the ooey gooey delicious cinnamon roll, takes out Krispy Kreme. 7-Eleven is down for the count because Dunkin' Donuts is moving on. Josh, where can they reach us?
At Gorp Show on X and Instagram and other things. And we'll see you on the YouTube at TheSadFan. One word, baby.
All right, everyone, stay tuned for the round of 32. The first stop comes up in 2 weeks. We hope to see you there. Thanks so much for tuning in.